and welcome to Season 3, Episode 36 for the May Contain Action Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Paul, also known on the streets as Action Jackson, and I'm joined by my co-host, former pickleball champion of his local AARP chapter, Trevor May is here, everybody.
Hey, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I actually woke my son up with the creaking of my knees today, so the AARP reference was pretty good. I'm not kidding. I stood up and both my knees went papa, and he opened his eyes. I was like, "There's no way." He didn't wake. He woke up just for a second, went back to sleep. I was terrified. So, yeah,
Dude,
thank you.
I think I'm laughing too because I literally just did that with Amelia. I put her down before I got in the pod, and I finally got her down. And I closed the door, and our house is 1,000,000 years old, so the door doesn't fully close unless I slam it, and I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just let the paint of the door frame and the door stick the door closed. So I did that, but I wasn't sure I got it all the way. So I was like, let me just pull it a little bit harder. And I pulled it a little bit harder. I touched the handle. It made a little metal noise, immediately crying. Heard that. Just blah. Yep. They're like little bats.
Yeah.
Hear everything.
I genuinely believe they do. They know, right? She is 100% thinking, if I hear a sound, I can get him to come right away, and it's easy. I can do it.
So I better not hear a damn sound. I'm gonna freak out.
There comes a time when they transition from being a baby to being little gaslighters, and they know they can get you to do something, so they do it, and then it's unraveling that for the rest of their Then they're toddlers and they're more obvious, but then they get even more diabolical, and you're like, okay, how can I win this battle so they don't feel the need to do this?
Yeah, if you don't have kids, is really just about winning. That's what it's about. It's about going to battle every morning with your kid.
Mm-hmm. Yes, cannot stress it. I've been a father for 7 weeks. You just got to win. You just got to outlast them.
Trevor's gonna write a book. It's gonna be really good.
If I ever get time.
Welcome back, buddy, to the pod. Welcome back to your own pod, and welcome watchers and listeners to the pod as well. Just so you guys know, we are gonna be taking a little bit of a break for the holiday season.
Scheduled break, a real one.
Scheduled break, an actual intentional break over the holidays, because we know you don't want to listen to us over the holidays. You're gonna have your mom, your dad over, maybe some in-laws, that a cousin that smells weird, the one that uses too much Back's body spray. They're gonna be over the house a lot. You're gonna have a lot of time to listen to us. So we're really we're taking the break for you.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it for you.
We want to give you space to just discuss with your loved ones how you feel about the last election. You know what I mean? We want you to have all of your attention available for all that inevitable discussion.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want to get between you, your family, and the Electoral College. Exactly. You know what I mean? We don't want to do that or anything like that. So
we believe that you'll solve that problem.
I think they will. Mm-hmm. So we are going to take a break. We do have one podcast scheduled for the beginning of December, the first week in December. But then after that, we will be gone until January and season 4 of the May Contain Action podcast.
Brand new season.
Very brand.
And I believe that is January 7th would be the day that comes out.
The 7th.
So basically just about the time when every single person listening gives up on their resolution. So
yes, about a week after they make them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
We figured you need a pod back to feel better. So we're here. We'll be back.
We'll be there. We'll be there to catch you, carry you, and just hold you in our Trevor's giant hands.
Well,
yeah.
Before we get into the movie that Paul got to choose this week, Paul, what else you been up to besides kids? How's the football season going? You went down and you watched the Eagles, right, play the Cowboys in Dallas. How'd that go?
I did. Yeah, I did. It was good. It was went out and visited the old buddy, the old pal there, Timothy Tapman.
Mm-hmm.
Hung out with him and his wife, and me and my wife, and a buddy of ours and his wife. All went to high school together. His name is Tony. Those who have been around long
I know
enough to know
Tony.
who Tony is.
I don't think I met Tony, but I know about Tony.
Yeah.
He's just about everyone's friend named Tony, right?
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah, he knows everything about everything. He's that guy, but not really. So yeah, he came. His wife, his kid actually was also there, and then their like his in-laws came to watch the baby too.
Oh wow!
Like her brother and his wife. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're very nice. It was great. It was a great time. We all stayed in like this house, and it was on a golf course, which was really cool. Tim went all out for it, so that was
wow.
really
Tim
fun.
got a house on a golf course as opposed to the house on a golf course that he lives in.
You know what?
He's like, wow, this feels like home.
Let me say it like that. That sounds a little ridiculous. Yeah. So, I'm streaming right now. Yikes.
Oh,
I'm literally streaming. Hello, everybody.
Here's some ads.
Hey. Here's ads.
We'll
keep this in the pod. Here's
That's
90-second ad. All right. See you later.
We're always
we'll use
in danger
the VOD.
of that though. When you have OBS, just it's one button, bro. You miss it, recording, and they're next to each other, recording and streaming.
They're right next to each other. Start recording, start streaming. So that's gonna be fun to have later. So it was a great time doing that, and we went to the Cowboys game. And a very long story short, I ended up wearing a Eagles jersey. I was a little bit nervous because we're actually going to be in Colin McCarthy's box. Colin McCarthy is Mike McCarthy's nephew, and it's not looking like Mike's coming back. So, not looking too good for head coach Mike McCarthy. But we were there, and the Eagles just trounced the freaking Cowboys. It was so good. It was so good. It's fantastic. And so I'm like one of the only people in there with an Eagles jersey in this box. And I noticed that there is this woman behind me, and she's like kind of mean mugging. Like she's just upset. Some people on my stream will know the story, but she's just like upset. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like it makes sense. Like the game is over. It's like now everyone's leaving. She's still sitting there. She's just looking out, just very upset. And I was like, maybe I went a little bit too hard in the celebrations. Like maybe I went a little bit too overboard with the trash talking. Come to find out, that woman is Mike McCarthy's daughter.
Yikes.
So she was not psyched about that. And insult to injury, apparently it was Mike's birthday that day.
Sorry, don't mean to laugh. Cowboys, what a joke.
It was also his birthday. So so it did not go great. But I still had a great time. So heck the Cowboys. Had a great time. Awesome. Thanks for asking.
I think I know this isn't a sports podcast, but you guys know we talk about sports sometimes.
Oh, you're literally an athlete.
It's Jerry Jones' fault. Everything's Jerry Jones' fault. When you want to be the owner and the GM of the team.
Yeah.
When your team goes 8-8 every year, when you have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I don't know what to tell you. You got all these players who are like the best at what they do, and you just can't do it.
Exactly.
So it's probably you. But again, he is $1 billion, so therefore nothing's his problem ever.
So, yeah. I think he like recently trash talked someone.
He did.
Someone
asked him something. He's like, "What would I think of that? I just do. I do what's best for this team." Is what he said. He was like he was like indignant that he got second guessed about something. It's like, dude, you're wrong like a lot. So
exactly, you're wrong. It's not the 90s, buddy.
Yeah.
Like it's been a long time.
It's been a while, but you're having
3
fun.
decades.
Yeah, he's having fun though. So I mean, at the end of the
as long
day,
as he's having fun,
it's his team. If he's willing to deal with it, I mean, I guess then the fans have to just wear it. But also, not be a fan. So.
And they do. Yeah, Tim's over here like, I don't know, Jacksonville looks pretty good, or maybe I should be not like the team. The team looks terrible, but he was like, I don't know, like I hear their stadium's nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe I should be a Tampa fan. I like Pirates.
Why not?
Sure,
Baker?
Man.
Baker loves Tim.
Baker's great.
So,
Baker loves Tim? What?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield loves Tim.
Did not know this.
You didn't know
that? No, why would I know that?
We saw him in Vegas. He was like, Tim Tebow.
Is that Baker Mayfield in Vegas?
Yeah, he's wearing his little hat. His little
I don't know. He's wearing a little hat?
The hat, those hats that hat that Pharrell wore for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? Pharrell hat. He had one of those.
No. A fedora?
It wasn't a fedora. It was the longer bill. not the bill, the rim. It's not called a bill. It's called a rim. Longer rim. I don't know. I don't know what
What's
they're called.
happening?
But yeah, it looked goofy as hell. But he was super excited to see Tim. And then I
Huh.
remember thinking, wow, you're a lot smaller than I thought you were. And that's it. That's the whole story.
Oh, wait,
You know what I'm doing?
this like Mountie Canadian Smokey the
Yeah,
Bear
he looked
hat?
like a Mountie. He did. He did. He did. This was right before COVID hit. Remember when we went? I was there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
I'm a Tan Man fan. Okay.
well, what have I done? Not left this home much, which is something I didn't do much before. Now I'm really wanting to.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been building a studio space,
Oh,
which
okay.
I have an office space that
Studio.
a friend of I split to get out of
Mhm.
the house. We got
Sure.
6 months ago, and then I'm building out like a literal studio, a recording studio in the back for doing my live show Mayday, which is
Oh,
going to also have a relaunch in January.
there you
Um,
go.
in like a more of a professional way. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be more of a show, kind of half stream, half show. So we're gonna do half where it's like all chat and AMAs and talking and stuff, like I kind of do
Mhm.
now. And then the other half's gonna be like bringing players on for interviews and bringing in, you know, other people to contribute to the conversation. So
Hot dog.
excited about that. Super cool. Got to learn all about how to build that. So it looks great. That's what I've been doing. That and watching movies. I've watched every Harry Potter last week. Um, they held
You
up.
gotta.
They hold
Yeah.
up.
Do they?
I've noticed. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I got probably the best content idea I've had in a long time from the last one.
Okay.
Um, there's a part. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this, but a part where Harry Harry breaks the Elder Wand and then throws it off the bridge. You know, at the end, and they're like, "Dude,
Yeah,
you have the
yeah.
most powerful wand." He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna break it because I'm just like kindness in my heart." And he throws it, and I'm like, "That was a terrible throw. Like that's a terrible throwing motion." Surprise, Daniel
It's
Radcliffe can't
terrible.
throw anything.
Really?
I go, what other movies where guys throw things and definitely should not be throwing things? And it turns out every movie has someone throwing something. So I'm going to find all the clips and I'm gonna break them down. Is this a good throw or not? And I found some great ones. So thank you, Harry Potter.
Oh,
Also
nice.
catching up on Arcane, which is one of the best
Heard it
animated
was
shows, maybe one of the best shows ever.
yeah, I heard it was awesome.
Incredible. You've seen the first season?
I've seen the first one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't got caught up on the second. I'm still trying to get
second
to,
one's better.
Shogun right now.
You're watching Shogun right now,
Yeah. Yeah, still trying
and
to
you
get through it.
haven't seen Penguin yet.
No. Dude, I'm so
The
behind, it's
Penguin
crazy.
might be another one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Goodness gracious.
It was incredible.
A lot of good
Incredible.
shows.
Colin Farrell is incredible of an actor.
Jeez.
Like,
Really? Okay.
yes, it's really well made.
I
Which is
I
funny
have a
because I didn't
hard
actually like
time
them.
imagining it, but I'm sure it's true.
Yeah, because the movie was goofy for me. It was like really, really cheesy, but I think that was just because
Yeah.
of uh because of Batman. I think just Batman bothered me. Because
Yeah.
the same guy
Yeah, he
made
bothered
this,
a
and
lot
I'm
of
like,
people.
this is great. Yeah, he just was super brooding. I didn't like it.
He was
So
very
anyway,
emo. Yeah.
very emo. Got to watch it again though, because Zoe Kravitz is in it. So
Okay,
you
alright,
gotta
I'll
do
watch it
that,
again.
right?
Yeah.
Give it a shot. And what else have I watched? Any other shows? I've just been watching stuff with him and the bouncer, hoping he goes to sleep. It never works, but he is starting to like movies. I'm like, the only screen you get to look at is a TV because it's stationary. That's not going to go
There
with
you
you.
go. Yes. Yes. That's what they
But
say.
because there's screens everywhere. There's no way I'm going to keep this baby from looking at screens. So I just don't want him to look
Yeah.
at my phone all the time.
Dude,
So
yeah, that's a real yes.
it's hard.
Agreed.
But like FaceTime, we're doing it on the laptop, so at least it's a bigger screen. It's not the phone. I don't want
Oh,
him to
that's I
know
never
that the
thought to
phone
do
even
that.
can do that. That's what I want.
Yeah. That's a really good idea, actually. Damn, okay. Never thought of that.
I don't know if it's going to work. Probably isn't, but we're trying. So yeah, it's been a lot of watching stuff, and that kind of leads us into what we watched for this show.
Yep.
You want to tell the people the movie you chose, dude?
I want to tell the people the movie I chose.
Okay, what did you choose?
I chose 1998's Jack Frost.
Mm.
Yeah.
Starring who?
Yeah. starring starring Surprisingly, Michael Keaton.
And not a single other person you've ever seen.
Actually,
Besides
well, the mom.
yeah, the mom.
The mom.
But I don't know what she's in. I know she's in something.
She's in. As soon as Tirza saw her on the screen, she was like, "I love her." I was like, "I don't." Okay. Apparently, she was in some. I don't know. I don't know what movie she was in, but she freaking loved it.
She's in something. We'll talk about her name in a moment when
Yeah.
we get there. But quick synopsis on Jack Frost for those of you who haven't seen it is a family-friendly holiday film that follows the story of Jack Frost, a musician and loving father who dies in a car accident. A year later, Jack magically returns as a snowman, giving him a second chance to bond with his son Charlie. Together, they embark on a heartwarming journey of love, forgiveness, and embracing the magic of family. Okay, says you, because
Okay.
I don't know what the journey was, but we'll get into it. Uh, yeah, this is so a little background. I can give you a little background on the making of this movie. There's some interesting things.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
concept was came to the brains of Warner Brothers in the mid 1990s.
Hmm.
There's a little coincidence. It just so happened that this idea popped in their head right after Santa Claus made $200 million for Disney. To produce they wanted to produce a family-friendly holiday film with a whimsical twist. Wow, no way! Like a snowman, like a guy dies, then he's just is that
Like
what
a
you wanted?
snowman.
Um, they tried to, you got to have the family, the
Yeah.
dad not hanging out with his kid. Wink, wink, Santa
Mm,
Claus. Wink, wink, Jingle All the Way. Wink, wink. Every single movie that was released around Christmas in the '90s had the
yeah.
exact same plot. This
A
was
lot of
no
F's
different.
and fathers. Hmm.
It went over a bunch of several script revisions, you know, but it wanted to, the way it wanted to be different was the snowman. The snowman was a big part of this. And it turns out that Michael Keaton was not the first choice to play the lead. Paul, who was the
Really?
first choice to play the lead?
Was it Tim Allen?
That's a good guess, but that would be too on the nose, I think. I'll give you one more shot. He's a big movie star that isn't necessarily related to Christmas movies, just a huge movie star.
Bruce Willis?
That was a good guess. George Clooney
George
was
Clooney?
supposed to be the
Really?
lead. Yes, he was supposed to be the guy with the earring. And he dropped out because I think was making Batman Begins, uh, which
Not
is funny
begins,
because
but
Michael Keaton's about to do a different Tim Burton's Batman, or just did it. So they both been Batman.
oh yeah.
Um, but Michael Keaton had time, and as we know now, especially in 2024, Michael Keaton just takes stuff randomly. Like there's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just
Very
interesting in
random.
the moment. So the whole script was written before Keaton joined, so they had to change it, obviously, because he's different than George Clooney, quippy and all
Much.
kind of stuff. They brought in Troy Miller, who had basically only done TV and did a little bit of features, but nothing was super, well done or critically acclaimed, which
Yes.
usually is where things fall apart. But the biggest thing about this movie,
Mhm.
Jim Henson's Creature Shop was brought in to make the snowman. So the
Creature Shop?
snowman is both animatronic and CGI,
Really?
which is going to come up many times in this pod because, oh my God, was it just not? It was a, pardon my pun, swing and a miss. So, um, the snowman was the major problem with this thing. Post production was horrible. With trying to build the sets around him, so like they were constantly having to go to add more CGI because the robot just could not do a lot of the things they needed to do, like smile.
Oh, sure. Of course.
So
You can't smile. Yeah.
it could only do like mouth open, mouth closed, which is really hard to do. And there was like 5 people operating the thing at any given time, so there was like a
Mhm.
huge process. Um,
5
so
people? Jeez.
there were times where like there was like 2 people like physically holding it up, and then one person has the remote to make sure it's moving the top part the right way, and then there's someone pushing it, and they're keying these people out, which also looked really bad. So the CGI was tough, but we're gonna get to the budget here in a moment. This budget for this movie was $85 million, which is like astounding
Oh, that's
considering
so much.
it's filmed in like 3 locations. There's the school, there is the house, the hockey rink in like downtown of the little town.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
the downtown.
That's it. That's really all there is. They just go to those 4
Yeah,
places over and over again.
that's true. Yeah.
And it turns out that like half of this budget was fixing this stupid snowman. Um, that is just voiceover by Michael Keaton. It made 34 million. So as you can imagine,
Oh, no.
Warner Brothers not too happy. Did not receive any major awards or nominations. And
No.
yeah, that's they went for it. This was during a time when they needed, like, it was a big. We mentioned we talked about this right before we went on. I don't know why I didn't wait till now.
Yeah.
But this was during a time when that slot, I believe it. What is it? The 22nd of December, whatever
Oh,
that
okay.
Friday is
Okay.
before Christmas,
I think
is
it changes all
a
the time.
huge
Yep.
is a huge release time. There's that, and then there's May for summer, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or no, May's downtime. Maybe it's August for summer. But there's two like big, blockbuster seasons.
Mhm.
And holidays are a big one because everyone's home and you go see movies. So people were trying to make, Santa Claus make $200 million. Jingle All the Way made $180 million.
Wow.
But this movie had $30 more million in budget in both those movies, which is nuts considering how much more there was to the other ones. So
Yeah.
um, Michael Keaton plays Jack Frost. Kelly Preston plays Gabby, the mom.
Mhm.
Joseph
Love
Cross
her.
plays Charlie, the kid. Mark Addy is Mac MacArthur, who is somebody. Oh no, that's the other guy from the band, the drummer, or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the
Keyboardist?
keyboardist. There we go. And
The
Henry
pianist.
Rollins
Yep.
was Sid Gronick, which Henry Rollins,
Oh, yeah. What was he looked familiar. What was he from?
he's in like a bunch of B movies. Um, I
Henry
feel like he's in
Rollins.
like Friday Night Lights or something. The show. Um,
Wow. He's all
you've seen
tatted
him,
up.
Sid Gronick, or it's not Henry Rollins. He is. He's always like a drill sergeant or something, or like a
Oh,
coach in
yes.
everything.
Yep, I'm seeing it. Apparently, he's also a singer?
Evidently, they should have had him be in it, considering Michael Keaton is a blues singer who plays the harmonica.
I mean, that's what I thought blues was as a kid. A harmonica.
So that's a little background of this masterpiece of a movie.
Mhm.
Michael Keaton comes off of uh fresh off of Ghostbusters, fresh off of Beetlejuice. We will talk a little bit. I have a section in here where we can talk a little bit about what went wrong, right? What do we think? Why do we think this flopped so hard? There's a lot of reasons, but we'll get
Okay.
into it. But what we need to know as we get into these categories is, Paul, why this movie? What made you pick this? Because so Paul picked it.
Yeah.
Paul went for it. I was not expecting this Christmas movie. There's so many good ones.
There
But
are
this
so
was it.
many.
Does this have a
And,
special place in your heart, or is it just
you know,
funnily bad?
it does. Yeah, I thought about the other ones, the classics, the Santa Claus, I don't know, Christmas with the Cranks, all that kind of, which are good, right? There's some good ones there. But I just had not seen this movie in so long, and it felt like the perfect time to kind of go back and be like, all right, was this what I thought it was? Um, because this was like my favorite Christmas movie as a kid. I
Really?
loved this movie. Yeah. Yeah, big time. So much so, apparently, that upon rewatch, there were several times where Michael Keaton would say something while he was alive, mainly. And she would just like slowly look over at me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm Michael Keaton. Like,
You're
like
Michael Keaton.
I molded my entire personality around this character. I'm the dad. She was like, holy frick, that's you. Oh God. So anyway, yes, it's a super special movie for me, at least when I was a kid. So want to rewatch it. That'd be fun. I thought you would hate it, so I was like, perfect, we'll just trash it.
You're like, I love this movie, and he's gonna hate it. What better combination?
Yeah, come on.
So you just like, it was just one of the ones you guys picked up, or like, do you have it on
Yeah,
VHS? You're like, oh, let's just watch this one.
exactly. Yeah, we had it on VHS. I have no idea why we had it. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember asking for it. Um, I feel like I'm imagining. I feel like I'm remembering just like having the plastic, like the white plastic thing that VHS used to come in. Like
Yeah.
the edges were
Yeah,
sharp.
yeah, yeah.
Like the inside was like a plastic mold where you put the VHS. Remember having that like on Christmas Day or something, and I was like, I guess I'll watch this. And I was like, this is the best movie of all time. I thought the opening performance, everything. I don't know. I was hooked as a kid.
Wow.
Hooked.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about the opening performance in a moment. But first, you gotta guess the ratings, Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Letterboxd. Paul, what do we got? What are you thinking?
All right.
Cannot wait to see hear what you got.
I'm gonna say Rotten Tomatoes is like 54. I think it's just barely over positive, over half. Um, IMDb is gonna be worse. It's like a 4, like a 4.2. And I'm gonna say that Letterboxd is a 1.7.
Ooh, 1.7. That would be
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough to get a sub 2 because then there's people like, it's so low. I'm just gonna give it 5. Like it's you know how that is.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah.
reverse trolling.
Yes.
So close on a lot of these. Rotten Tomatoes though they don't hold back. So the tomato meter was 16 from critics. So they were correct in
Oh,
my opinion. But
damn.
31 popcorn score, still not great, but people liked
Yeah.
it better.
Okay.
The Pauls of the world who had a special place in their heart when they were 6 and they saw it.
Yeah.
Um, IMDb is a 5.4, not great,
Yeah. Not
and
great.
Letterbox is a 2.4.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
a little
All
bit
right.
better than you thought, but not much. And speaking of Letterbox, for some reason, I again
What?
forgot to do the reviews. Paul, would you like to read us our reviews? We got 3, and I just took the
No.
3 popular reviews because they're all good. They're great. These are 3 really good ones. I like these a
Okay.
lot.
All right.
So, hit them with the Letterbox reviews for your favorite movie of all time.
Okay. Let's see. So this is from Lauren. They said Michael Keaton after snorting a line. Yeah, I'd love to star in this.
It had that vibe a little bit, where he's like, "Oh, I'm coming down. Oh no, what movie am I in?"
I'd love to star in this. This one is from number one Gizmo fan. Oh, by the way, that first one from Lauren, 2 stars.
Hmm.
And then Gizmo fan gave it 5 stars or 4 stars. 4. Are we? Do we swear on the podcast? I don't even know.
Yeah, we swear all the time.
We're on the podcast. All right. Gizmo said, "Fuck you, I liked it," which
Self-aware, right there. Self-awareness is important.
very self-aware.
He's
I
like, "Hey
appreciate
guys,
that.
I know everyone hates this movie, and I know why, but I liked it,
Yeah,
so shut up."
exactly, exactly. Yes, which is kind of how I feel. Russman gave it 2 stars. They said, "I always assumed this was a horror movie based on the poster. Turns out I was right."
Yeah, we got to talk about that poster, man. The poster is also part of the reason it didn't do well, in my opinion. There's a lot of things. They did not set
Oh
themselves
yeah,
up to trick anybody into going to this.
no, they didn't.
They did not. They did not. At least sometimes you can trick people and be like, "Oh, it's going to be good," like Megalopolis. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's amazing. I'm going to go try to see that." And then they're going to be like, "What the hell was that?" But they already spent the money. Like this movie, everyone's
Yes,
like, they looked at the poster like, "No, no, no,
no,
no. There's murder in that.
There- it's
That's how man
it's
murders people.
horrifying.
It's
Yeah,
bad." But the opening scene, you just mentioned it. You loved it. The opening scene
yeah.
where we meet the Jack Frost band.
Mm-hmm.
Humble are we, Jack? Name the band after yourself.
Hey, it's his band. Come on.
But the Jack Frost band playing at what seems to be a high school gymnasium in Denver, because
Thought it was a
takes place in
club.
Colorado. Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
the music capital of the world. And they
Yep.
just basically do a custom song, which I don't know if that's really Michael Keaton singing.
I don't know.
It might be, because he sings a few times.
It sounds like him.
It does.
It sounds like him.
And he
Frosty
plays
the
a harmonica
Snowman.
that you can't actually physically see. So I don't think he actually is going to, because I think he's covering it with his hand the whole time because he's not playing one. That's what I think.
Really?
hot take.
I never noticed.
But yeah, they play this wonderful original song, which I
Mhm.
believe is like the only original song in the whole movie, which is also interesting.
Well, it's not really original though. It's a cover.
Is
It's
it
Frosty
also?
the Snowman.
Oh my god, it is a cover. It was just all bluesy.
It was just bluesy. It was bluesy Frosty the Snowman.
It felt like a take on Frosty the Snowman. I felt like a lot of the lyrics were different, but I totally
Dude,
understand
when I
that's what he was doing.
was watching it, I remember as a kid thinking, this is the best original song I've ever heard in my life.
And it's not.
What is this? This is crazy. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's just Frosty the Snowman
Oh,
with a harmonica.
yeah. And he rips it. He rips the
He
harmonica if
does.
he's really playing.
He does rip it.
What do you give the rating of this opening scene on a 1 to a Vivian, though? Is it a Vivian?
I want to a Vivian. I mean, this is one of the best ones ever. No, I mean, I can be honest. I can be transparent. It's like a 2. Like, what are we even doing? You know what I mean? You get introduced to the band, which isn't really even the point of the movie. It's just
not.
a side plot. It's a side thing that he's in a band. It's kind of the reason he ends up, spoiler alert, dying. But it's not really the point of the movie. So it's weird to open up on that particular thing. I mean, I would have opened up on like him playing with his son, or maybe even like a birth scene, or like he has his child, or like that's the relationship is
I
the
guess.
father son. So
I guess.
I mean, it's not like a birth scene. Like I'm not looking.
No, I hear you, but like establish the relationship first. We're like, okay, he's in a band. They did the whole song. We watched the whole song.
It was a whole song. Yeah, it was.
And people are like, oh, this is great. And then of course they're just like straight from Back to the Future. There's a scout there who's like, are you hearing this with his phone and puts it up? These guys are amazing singing their cover of freaking Frosty the Snowman.
Yep. You hear this cover of Frosty the Snowman?
These guys are insane. They're like they're all in their late 30s, super, fresh.
These guys could definitely write an album. They could do the whole thing,
I guess. I gave it a 1. I was like physically cringing the whole time, like, oh no. Yeah, but I guess it establishes that Michael Keaton he has a earring, one earring, because that's what musicians have in the 90s. The
only one.
Literally, I think everyone in the band had one earring, which is pretty cool. But like I was like, Michael Keaton's he's just not a musician in my eye. Like I just don't believe this.
Yeah, that's true. It was hard to believe.
But like not a rock star. Like I can imagine him like playing a guitar like at a, First Family or something. But like I couldn't I was like, I don't know why I don't believe this. I just don't. But you're right. And then you're like, okay, so what's this been established? I don't know what this movie's about.
Still don't know what it's about.
And then the next scene happens.
Yeah.
And
what's the next scene again?
It's Charlie coming out of school on break.
Yes.
And then suddenly a bunch of military sounds go off and he gets in a snowball fight.
There was literally the snowball fight literally had gunshots in it.
There's a helicopter sound when he walks over the hill. The helicopter, bro. What the hell? And then the whole thing happens. I'm like, were we just trying to show him that he's a good boy? I don't know.
He's a good boy. Yeah, he's a commander.
He's a good kid
leader
that helps his friends. Okay.
The bad kid is like sucking on like a Slim Jim. Looks like a cigar.
Slim Jim, like he's got a cigar. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very Oliver Stone. I loved it though. He was a villain. And he got the spiky hair.
Yeah, kind
like every kid in a Digi-Channel original had when they were bullies.
Yep. He's got no dad.
He's got no dad. Obviously.
Clear. Obviously, no father figure.
Because that's why he is the way he is with the skull and bones on his shirt.
Yes.
Like he's Sid from Toy Story.
Yes. Yep. I mean, dude, but as a kid too, I'm watching that. I'm like, man, I'd love to be in a snowball fight like that. I mean,
exactly. Though
come on,
that would have got me. I would have been like, oh, they built barriers.
Yeah, there's barriers.
There's barriers.
It's a giant bowl. Tactical. So freaking cool. Yeah,
it is cool. So gotta remember it's a kid's movie, but
exactly. They gotta build some tension around like, oh my gosh, Charlie, like he's gonna do. Oh my god, he's getting hit with snowballs. Just stand up and walk away, bud. You'll be cold.
Yeah,
happens.
It does happen. I do love how he sends his friend out. He's like, puts his flaps down. He's like, go take some shots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like, yes,
distract him.
Yes,
get
sir.
Belted. Yeah, that next scene was not great. Not great, but I loved it because it was what I remember.
So we are what 15 minutes into the movie. We've simply no clue,
no idea what it's about.
What it's about. So, Dad comes back. We're now we're like, oh, is he an absentee father?
Right.
We're doing this.
Yes.
He's on the road. He went all the way to Denver. It's crazy.
all the
What
way.
kind of dad
Yeah.
is he? And then he comes home and you're like, oh, he's a good dad.
Yeah, he's a great dad.
He's a really good dad.
He's a
Really
freaking
understanding.
killer dad.
Yeah, and he's just trying to figure out how to prioritize like his big break and his son, which
Yeah.
I love. I was like, this is actually being handled really well. It's funny because Charlie, the son, was also handling it really well.
Yeah, everyone was handling it super well.
Yeah.
Like, the beginning part of the movie is actually my favorite part of the movie because I mean, I don't know if they let him or if that's just how he is. Michael Keaton was Michael Keaton. Like, he was just himself,
Yeah.
which is really charming, and so him interacting with his son, with his wife was all, like, fantastic. Like, also, wife, freaking babe.
Mm.
Just, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, a huge crush as a kid. Still crush now. My goodness.
Yeah.
Um
Doing it.
yeah, son takes it super well. They're like sarcastic with each other,
Mhm.
little things back and forth. Um, I loved it. I loved every part of the beginning part of that movie. I think for me, not to get too ahead of myself here, but I feel like the movie kind of actually falls off when he becomes Jack Frost
I agree.
because that voiceover lacks in the moment improv, which I think is most of what Keaton did in the beginning.
So it's funny. He did improv a lot of it's ADRs, what voiceover is after the fact.
Oh, really?
And what the problem was matching the frickin' the snowman to him.
Oh, there you go.
So he
Okay.
tried to keep it up because
Mhm.
he wasn't in it anymore, and
Exactly.
the technical difficulties were associated with him being himself. Honestly, though, it's pretty
Mhm.
clear, and I let me know if you don't disagree or not. But like, it's pretty clear that they're like, all right, we got Michael Keaton. He's got to just carry this thing. We got to like just let him
Oh,
do his
yeah.
Beetlejuice thing and see if he can get us our money back. I don't see a world where they're like, yeah, this movie's gonna hit. Like, because frankly, there's just no plot at all. Like at all. I'm like, okay, he's a snowman. What are you gonna do? And they're like, we don't know. We're not even gonna think about it. We're gonna play
Huh.
this 5 minutes at a time right now. I'm like, Charlie, how do you think this is gonna end, bro? Bro, your dad's a fucking snowman. What do
Yeah,
you
there isn't really a plot.
what do you think's gonna happen here? Like, and usually they're
Yeah.
like, by the time the clock strikes midnight, you have to be in this place, blah 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 blah, so that you can da da da. Like none of that was established. Nothing was. I didn't know what they were trying to do. I didn't know
Yeah,
what
he couldn't come back or anything like
is he
that.
gonna come back next year? Is that we don't know.
Yeah.
We still don't. But that was it. So there was like the stakes were, oh, he's dead. Now what? Like, what are we trying to avoid or get or whatever? And there was nothing.
Yeah, you're right. I guess
You
it
know what I
wasn't
mean? Like,
anything.
I was like, why is this not compelling? I'm like, oh, because I don't know what they're doing. They're just going place to place right now as a snowman, being weird. Also, no one seems to mind that he's always talking to a snowman.
And he's like, no one ever is like, is that a snowman? Why is
That
that snowman
snowman
in this
just
hockey
moved.
ring?
Did that snowman's mouth move? Why is he
Yeah.
shooting 100 snowballs a minute? Where are those snowballs coming from? They're like, wow, Charlie's up there. He's obviously not throwing snowballs. And they're just flying from behind him as if there's 100 people behind him. You know what I mean? I was like, what
Yeah,
in the
you really
little
gotta
rascals is this?
suspend the belief or disbelief or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it is a kid. At the end of the day, it is a kid's movie. It's supposed to be about like, oh, that's crazy, and it sounds like it got you. I didn't see it when I was a kid. I probably would have loved it too. Like, who are we kidding? I loved Brink. Like, is that a great movie? No.
I've never seen Brink.
Oh, you should. It's
Oh
no, I don't know
god.
if you should. Maybe we should do it for the show. Johnny
Yeah, let's do
Tsunami. Is it a good movie? Nah,
it. Okay.
but it's fun. All right. It's fun. So I mean,
That's
that's
right,
what
it's
these
fun.
things are for. But like, yeah, it falls off. So, there's some great quotes in the movie, like you
Yes.
mentioned. We have,
Yeah.
Jack Frost. Most of them are him. There's a couple good ones that are kind of just silly out of the other ones, but it's pretty much him the whole time.
The entire time, yeah.
But I have one favorite. So,
Okay.
but he goes when Charlie goes, but Dad, because he's like trying to go back to the thing, and he goes, but
Yeah.
Dad, you call me butt Dad? And he goes, that makes you butt boy, right? I was like, that's the weirdest. That was so weird. Why do you say that? And they just left it in.
But boy.
So like he just went on that diatribe. By the way, he keeps walking to the car and walking back, and walking to the car, walking back.
Yes, he does keep. Yeah. I don't know what he's getting.
It's confused. Yeah, it's kind of. I'm like, what are you? Are you going to leave or not? Are you staying?
Dude, when that scene happened, Tirza was dying. She thought that was the funniest thing.
So funny.
It's
So
when he
funny.
leaves. It's when he leaves, and Charlie says "butt" one more time, and he's like, "Bye, butt family."
Yeah, bye, butt family. And like, you just went with butt dad. He ran with that forever for
Butt
like 5
dad.
minutes.
It's the most dad joke thing ever. Like
It
I
really
could see
is.
myself easily being like, "Butt dad."
Yeah,
Call me
you would do
butt
that.
dad.
You're right.
I would.
It probably
I
is so
would do
funny
it.
to you.
I would totally do it. Yeah.
Um,
Michael Keaton is me in this movie. I am him.
okay, well, if that's the case, what's your favorite? What's the quote?
That was it. I mean, that was definitely my favorite one for
Really,
sure.
the butt boy quote?
Butt boy quote was one of my
Really?
favorite ones. Yeah, that was really good. I also really liked when he did start throwing the 100 snowballs. I thought it was actually pretty good. He was like, it starts off kind of lame, but I feel like it kind of lands decent. It was like 3 balls, 2 sticks, 1 cork nose. Snowman? No, much more. Much more. I'm the Wizard of Blizzard.
That's pretty good.
Run, you little mountain goats. I don't know why he calls them mountain goats.
I don't either. A lot of it makes no sense, but it's well
No,
performed.
didn't make any sense. But I could totally see myself riffing like that. So I feel like I think I liked it because I just saw myself in this character a lot. Just like random stuff, calling kids little mountain goats, butt family. That's pretty good. My other favorite quote of the whole thing is the creepiest one of the entire movie, in my opinion. It's literally the last thing said, I think, in the movie. It's like, they get to see this hologram version of Michael Keaton again after the snowman flies away, and you think it's done. You're like, oh man, it's beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will always hear you.
Exactly. I go, did he just say, I'll always hear you as he creepily just like disappeared?
So weird. Like, I was just immediately thinking, like, he is? Like, they looked at each other like, he's always going to hear us?
He goes, wait, oh, the harmonica. I get it. That's how it worked because we haven't talked about
Is
the
that
harmonica.
what it is?
Yeah, it's the harmonica you heard.
I thought it was just like, I'm listening. Like, always.
Yeah, but like they didn't establish that the harmonica could do it again even. Like, so.
Yes, yeah, they did not. Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was supposed to be like the snow globe in Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Shake it and
was
I'll
the MacGuffin.
come to see
It was
you. Right?
was a terrible MacGuffin.
But like they didn't say that.
Yeah.
So like
they never established it.
It's funny. They stole a bunch of stuff and then just did it way worse and or didn't give you enough context. And it's just, yeah, it's tough. Like even one, this is another one of my favorite parts of inconsistencies when he's like, okay, we got to drive up there because the label needs to see us, of course, now. Because they don't have lives and they don't have families, right?
No, yeah. Freaking Christmas Day.
And then they drive halfway there and then they stop the cars like, nah.
Yep.
Bro, what changed your mind? Nothing happened. You just drove for a while. You just made it harder
on everybody.
And then he's like, I'm going to drive home. Take one of the cars from the other people and they go home. And they're like, okay. It's so funny. They're like, yeah, dude, why didn't you do that from the beginning, idiot?
Yeah, we all wanted to eat Christmas dinner with our families. This would
have been fine. We could have covered for you. They figured this out. It would have been fine. And he's like, exactly. Oh, that was an option. Okay, let me just drive 2 hours home. Snowbank, and yeah, so we see that happen. By the way, I have one more quote, and this is nice because I'm a father now, and I think you'll enjoy this. There was a very good quote, right? Mm-hmm. A father-son connection, which I thought was really kind of deep and then actually really important to tell Charlie. And it's good to have dreams, Charlie, because he's like, you know what? I've had a dream for a long time, and I'm really close to getting it, which I thought was like a great thing to say as your father. Like, this is actually what I'm feeling and why I'm trying to make this decision, but I really do want to be here with you. And
agree.
Like, I get it.
It was cool.
He's like, it's good to have dreams, Charlie. Just don't let them take place of what's real, which I thought was really nice. And then literally the next day, he's like, I'm going to go do the thing because my dreams. And then he's like, take your harmonica back. I don't understand anymore. It's like, you just said you understood last night. This is the same thing. Nothing happened. You know what I mean? So I'm like, now we have the, I understand why he's mad, but this was, foreshadowed.
This was foreshadowed.
Yeah. He was hoping you'd be, understanding.
Even as a kid, it felt like was like a extreme reaction.
Yeah.
you know?
He hadn't
Like,
reacted like that at all. He'd been understanding pretty much at every level.
yeah, and then suddenly in I actually loved I mean, there's some kind of redeemable parts, at least from, like, a real life relationship standpoint. Him and the wife start breaking down, "Okay, how can we make this work?" Which I thought was great.
Yeah,
It wasn't
also
like
awesome.
a, "You're not going no matter what," and it's like, "I'm going." It was like, "Alright, let's be realistic. How long does the set take? How long does it take to drive there?" Like, it was like, "Okay,
Yeah, that's exactly what you would do. That's the mature thing to do.
this is kinda nice." Yeah, exactly. Which I feel like that isn't, like, covered much in movies. But then, like, the kid is the one who's just like, "Ah, take your harmonica. I'm done."
Done with you,
Yeah, and
pop.
they just talked about it last night.
So, like, it's like, I feel like they should have talked about it after that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe this was out of
Yes.
order. Maybe this was filmed differently and they just cut it that way. That's a real thing too. They just thought that was the best way to do it, and then it wasn't. A lot of this
Yeah.
stuff is filmed out of order, so that could have happened. Um,
Mhm.
who knows, right? Things could have just like went off the rails and like, dude, just get the movie done, right? I
Yeah,
totally
exactly.
understand that. I've made YouTube videos where I'm like, dude, I don't care anymore about this subject. This needs to be over. But that said, like, yeah, I just remember being like, okay, Charlie, I liked you, but now I don't. I'm kind of mad at you. Let
Yes.
your
Yeah,
dad
no, I
be a
don't.
rock star. He sang a cover really
Of
well.
of
So
Frosty the Snowman. You know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this.
listen to this. With a little flip phone. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
what about the Ents Attack Isengard best moment? Because I have two that I loved.
Oh, well, then go ahead. Take it away. What are your
Um,
2?
when the bully slides down 6 feet down a little bank embankment on his snowboard, falls.
Mm, yeah.
By the way, doesn't like land it. He like slides on his butt and then gets up. He's like, oh.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, that was not cool. Bad entry, stupid spiky hair. And then he's like, you want to he gets a snowball and he's like, you know what a brain freeze feels like? And then he just gets dosed in the face point blank by Charlie. Crushes him in the face. He goes down, then he stands up,
Yeah.
smiling, not angry. He
Yeah.
seems amused, and then he falls down again. Everyone laughs at him.
Yeah, exactly. He's the biggest goofball of a villain.
I'm like, this kid's not mean. He's not.
Yeah.
He's kind of being mean, but he looks like he's like trying to like jokingly being
Yeah.
mean.
At
Uh,
I got a sense at one point that I was like, maybe Charlie's the bully, you know? Like,
yeah,
maybe maybe he's the bad guy. Like, I feel like this kid's just lashing out because everyone keeps laughing at him and stuff, and like Charlie keeps hitting him in the face point blank with snowballs. Like, I'd be pretty upset too. I don't
and he doesn't have a dad. We've established that.
exactly. So you pick out the kid that doesn't have a dad? Like, geez.
Yeah, there's a world. There's a world where this could have a remake. Let's see. Let's see
Yeah,
if we can get it from what's his name, Enzo. I can't remember
exactly. Like the
his
Karate
name.
Kid when they make the bad guy the good guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was that moment. I was like, this movie's awesome. That's also in the trailer, which is just the first scene, by the way. It's not really a trailer,
Okay.
it's just the first scene.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I don't know why there wasn't a trailer when I went to watch it. It was just the first scene.
Weird.
And then the second snowball fight, because yes, there is another snowball fight.
Come on. Come on, of
Um,
course.
when all the kids are trying to get Charlie or trying to hit him after all the the 100 snowballs coming from over the embankment. They can't
Mhm.
see anybody, so they're like, let's just chase him. Uh, I don't know what they think is happening. I'm like, he's a wizard, very clearly. What are you guys doing? But they chase him. There is actually a pretty good chase scene, except for all the CGI they put in there, which is just horrendous.
Yeah.
And also the ADR is like it's not balanced very well, so it sounds like he's in a booth. Like Charlie is doing reverb like he's outside. Keaton's voice is not. So I'm like, dude, this does not
Wow, you pay
sound good.
attention to that.
This is not mixed very well, and
Damn.
that's kind of important when you're voiceovering.
Sure.
But the best part of this snowball fight, so they get to the bottom, all the
Mhm.
kids kind of catch up with him,
Yep.
and then he is Charlie gets like kicked up over off a cliff, and he's holding on to a stump,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yes,
the
yes,
kids are
yeah,
still throwing snowballs at him. So I'm like, they're trying to murder him.
yeah.
So I'm like, this is this is serious. This is bad. Like this is when everyone would stop and be like, dude, we gotta not kill a kid because we're gonna get in trouble. But they don't. They
Not
don't.
kill a kid.
So like things
Yeah,
get really serious really quickly a couple times in this movie.
yeah.
But at that moment, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually worried now. And then, of course, they do some crazy. They're like, oh no, we need an opportunity to get an animatronic snowman in the air to catch him.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then they
Which
do.
he takes his sweet time doing, by the way.
He really does. It's so funny when it looks down at him and he's like trying to get in position. He's barely moving.
Yeah, yes.
I'm coming,
Yeah,
Charlie. And he's like,
also, I gotta be honest, he said, "I'm coming, Charlie," a little too too many times.
yeah,
It felt
like
like
keep
too
holding
many
on. He's like, I'm
times.
not going to let go.
It's like, "I'm
I'm
coming, Charlie. I'm coming.
I'm coming. I'm a coming.
Hold on, Charlie, I'm coming.
I'll be right there,
I'm
dude.
I'm coming, Charlie." Like,
Just
just
believe.
get here.
Just believe, man.
Just believe. It's funny that you mentioned that because that's probably my favorite scene for a couple reasons. One, because as a kid, I thought that was so freaking cool. It's like everyone's got they're different, like these, like they got like snow bikes.
Yes.
Like
You're
like
like me, man. You're like imagining yourself. You're like, I want to have a battle like this.
yes, 100%. I was like, I want to be involved in this for sure.
I get it. Totally
And
get it.
it started. So also fun fact about this, I love this movie so much that scene I love so much. I was like, I want to be a snowboarder. Like I want to do it. I
Yeah.
want to be a snowboarder. I want to learn how to snowboard. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And my parents, the following Christmas, bought me a snowboard,
Oh.
which is crazy for them because they never do that. Like, if I wanted a remote control car, they give me one of the ones from the dollar store that was like physically attached. They had like a wire.
Yeah.
They'd give me that. Like, if I wanted, like, I don't know, like Call of Duty, they'd be like, the answer of honor. And like, this isn't even a video game. Like, what the hell is this? Like, I thought that's what you wanted. Like, no, this is the $2 version.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought that was a game. It's a movie.
it's a
Bad movie.
exactly. So the only two things they ever got me that were like actually like name brand were that, and I guess name brand, it's a snowboard, but like an actual snowboard. It was a real snowboard and the Hess trucks. Those like the only things they got me. But I digress. Not about my Christmas gifts. But it was my mission to learn how to ride this thing. But they never took me anywhere. They're like, here's a snowboard. I was like, oh, cool. They're like, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where do I go with this? I'm like, oh, go in the backyard. So just take it in the backyard.
Stand on it.
Stand on it.
Try to do kick flips. Oh wait, I'm bound in.
Yep. Try to like roll around in it. But yeah, so this is my favorite scene for that reason. It made me fall in love with snowboards and I got one. However, I never realized until Tirza pointed this out. She's like, how high is this mountain? Like, they have been falling down this mountain for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, where they started at ground level. Well, where are they going?
The school is at the peak of Everest.
Yeah, it was just the longest downhill. I mean, they just keep going down. It was remarkable. I was like, oh yeah, I never really thought about that. For kids.
Yeah.
That mountain could have been 100 miles long. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Nothing makes any sense.
I mean, they had fun. There's,
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's a snowman, man. Anything can happen, right? Maybe we're just in an alternate universe and we keep resetting to the front or the top of the mountain over and over again. I don't know.
That's right. Kept making balls jokes. My balls are cold.
Yes, lots of balls.
Ball jokes.
He had boobs.
He had boobs at one point. Yeah,
and like was like, and like tried to like see if they worked. He said, "Nah, it isn't working through them."
Oh yeah, yeah. He looks down. His junk isn't there. He's like, oh no, I didn't realize that as a kid. That didn't ever register for me.
No, you got to have that stuff for the parents, right? When you got movies like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you imagine that. Imagine being dead for a year, coming back, finally seeing your smoking hot wife. Nothing.
Which, by the way, their relationship very sensual the whole time. They're hitting on each other the whole time. They're just making eyes, being like, "Oh, what's your name?" Like doing role play and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
take your boots off.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was only really that, which was all their interactions, which was interesting. I don't really know. And she's a bank teller, and they have this really nice house. I don't know. It's the mid '90s. It was a different economy, right? Different economy. Bill Clinton. Remember, we got out of the old deficit for like a minute.
Yeah,
back then, right? So maybe that's what was going on. But let's just put it this way: a guy in a cover band and a bank teller probably don't own that house these days.
No.
So good for them, though. Good for them.
Yeah, great jobs.
Great. Those were great moments. There were some other cool ones. This right here. I've had this in nitpicks. I'm going to mention this in the best moment.
Okay.
he is trying to go to Charlie's last hockey match game, which, by the way, they only play one team. It's the Devils every single time.
Yeah, they play one team. Yep.
There's
It's
only
their
one
arch
team.
rivals. Yeah.
It's arch rivals.
Yeah.
And he tries to get the dog, the family dog, to pull him. And he says, "You think there's any cute poodles there?" And he pulls him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're on our way." And then he has a whip and cracks the whip once. I'm like, did he just whip the dog?
That's exactly what Tirza said. She was like, "Did he just whip that dog?"
I mean, evidently. And also, where'd he get it?
No, he hit this ground next to him. You know, who knows? No, you know, where do you get the freaking harness to even attach that dog to that tiny little? It doesn't make sense.
Is so funny though. It happened. I was like, that was a weird transition. See, like that type of stuff. It's like jarring. You're like, that doesn't belong there, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But I enjoyed that moment a lot. So like I paused it. And I looked at Kate. I was like, did he just? She said, yeah, he went.
What was Kate's general vibe about this movie?
Oh, she's like, it's terrible. And Kate's a
yes.
big like Christmas movies are like Kate's shit. Like,
oh, really?
Big on it. Yeah, we watch White Christmas. We watch It's a Wonderful Life. We watch Miracle on whatever the street, like
34th Street.
Yeah, we do all the big ones. All the musicals, all the tap dancing, all the everything.
But not this one.
This one's probably not going to be in the rotation. No. Maybe
it's tough.
We already watched it once, so we can't do it again.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that one. There's a bunch of that little stuff. What about aging the best? What aged the best? Because it's mid-90s. Mid-90s are great, but there's a lot of things that are still relevant and then a lot of things that are not.
Well, you know, I didn't really, maybe, you know, rose-colored glasses over here. I didn't see a whole lot that stuck out that was like, oh, that's like super inappropriate or anything like that. I don't know. It didn't feel like they were, maybe I missed it, but it felt like women made out okay.
Yeah.
You know, there was no like any gay jokes. The blacks didn't do well here, but you know, hey, it's Colorado in winter. You know, they're not around.
Right? Yeah, there's none.
Not a single one. Not a single black guy in the whole movie or gal. Nothing.
I don't think there's a single non-white person.
That's a better way to put it. Because I thought one of the little kids might have been Asian. Maybe. But not looking great.
A lot of white.
Yeah. Not looking great for us. But, you know, they also didn't say anything disparaging. So it's like, you know, sure. You know, if we can have Medea, they can have Jack Frost. So
yeah, you're like, yeah, we're good. We skipped this one. We don't need this movie. Yeah. Thank you for leaving us out of this one.
Yeah, exactly.
What about like props or costumes or anything? Anything like, you know, I'm trying to like look for now, like, cell phones that were hot at the time. Like if I watch a movie where everyone has a Motorola Razor.
Oh yes,
that didn't age well.
No, I feel like okay. So you know what I feel like actually aged well were the car choices. The cars were all sick in this movie.
It's so funny because I think the exact I'm like those. I mean, they didn't age well in that like cars do not look like that anymore at all.
No, they didn't look like that then.
They were all old then.
Yeah, they were like 70s cars.
Yeah,
that they were driving around. I was looked at Tears. I was like, imagine driving around in Colorado with like 5-foot snowdrifts in like a front wheel drive, whatever the hell that is.
That's a great point. That's a great
nightmare.
Was there like a new car anywhere?
I think the newest car might have been that Jeep that Sid was in.
Yeah. Sid's Jeep. The one where he's like, if it ain't a Jeep, he was proud of the Jeep, but like everyone else like just like station wagons and
the mom had a Wagoneer.
Yeah, like Wagoneer. Yeah. Of course they have a Wagoneer. Of course they do.
Yeah.
It's Christmas movie. You gotta have a Wagoneer.
Wagoneer's freaking sick.
Oh,
so yeah, I don't know. Did anything age poorly? Did I miss something? Was there like a hard R or anything in there? I missed. I don't know.
No. I think in terms of like, you know, social norms, I think we're good. I would say the bully style didn't age well. The 90s have come back. That has not.
True.
The CGI didn't age well at times. There were a couple times where he's flying through the air and I'm like, dude, this looks awful. And then I said Michael Keaton's earring. He didn't pull it off. That's less about aging best or worse and just like, dude, bad, just no.
Yeah, just
he didn't need an earring. That didn't make him more of an artist. It didn't. It just looked weird to me.
I gotta
But
be honest, it maybe as a kid, I was like, "That guy's an
that
artist
guy's cool.
because he's got the ring." You're
But
right.
that cool. That was cool then. That was cool in the mid-90s. It really
It
was.
was.
Ain't cool now.
Mhm.
So I'd say that's probably I mean, it is kind of cool now, but like I guess
Yeah.
multiple earrings. Is it cool
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Like, all the way up the cartilage or something.
Huh. Maybe it
Yeah.
is cool. Maybe I'm not cool. That's probably what it is.
That's
Yeah,
actually
actually,
more likely what it is because Michael
yeah.
Keaton's cool, buddy.
But
So,
he's very cool.
he's very cool.
He's gonna be in a movie I make someday.
Oh, there you go.
I'll put it out there. He's gonna be my manager of my baseball team.
I
Nitpicks, real quick.
Yes, I do have just I mean, I probably, if I really think about it, I have a couple, but this one stuck out to me for some reason. Sometimes things stick out. He's making the snowman. Charlie. Old Charlie Boy's making the snowman. Couple of nitpicks in this scene. One, I'm not sure if he rented a front loader or if he just had all night, but those snowballs were
Yeah.
gigantic.
Yeah.
They were huge. Huge.
Yeah.
He does not have the time or the strength to roll a ball that big.
No.
So that frustrated me. Even as a kid, I was like, damn. Did he have
Because you were
help?
like, I can't make one that big. Not realistic.
Dude, takes me half an hour to make like one the size of like a watermelon.
Mm.
So yeah, that was a little bit, it bugged me. And in the same scene, he's making the snowman and he puts one of the buttons, one of the buttons is like the Jack Frost button, like
Yeah.
Jack Frost band. He like uses that as one of the snowman's buttons. And you can see in that scene that the snowman has the scarf on. And then the very next scene is a dramatic slow motion of Charlie putting the scarf on him.
Mm.
And I was like, that feels like just an easy editing
Easy
thing.
pick
Just
up.
literally swap the two.
You just missed it. They just
Like,
missed it.
like that seems so obvious.
Yeah.
It doesn't even break anything. You literally just take the clip and then move it in front of the other one.
Yeah.
And it
Crazy.
makes sense, but they didn't do that, and
Crazy.
it looks stupid. So
They put it in
I was
the
like,
wrong
all
order.
right.
Yeah.
That took me out of it a little bit. Not that
I
was,
think
like,
they did that a
locked
few
in.
times.
Oh, I'm sure they did, but
Yeah.
for some reason, that's the one I caught. I
Yeah.
was like, that's stupid.
I did not notice
It's
that.
it's because they made such a big deal out of the scarf. If they didn't do that, I might not have even noticed it. But they're like, the scarf goes up, which I'm like, did we make a big deal about his scarf before?
That's what I'm saying. Like they made a big deal about the harmonica at the beginning, and then again, it was the magic
Yeah.
harmonica. We're not going to mention it or give you any more context about what it does now either.
Yeah.
We're just not going to talk about it. You're not even going to see it for the rest of the movie.
There was nothing. They could have even easily done. I mean, whatever. Like, have a moment where Charlie is idolizing his father, watching him get his scarf and his hat and his pin on to go do whatever he's going to do.
Yeah.
Then we realize that means a lot to Charlie, and then he's dressing the snowman in the very same way that his dad dressed, which would be even more significant. But they didn't do that. They're just like, the scarf. I'm like, okay.
Look at
Cool
Paul riding a movie. Look at that.
Come on.
It's awesome. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Since we do in this pod, I've been looking at things like that was bad. How could it be better?
Yes.
You're exactly right, man. They could have done that very easily. That'd be establishing the point, and then it actually adds some value to the things
Yeah.
he's doing that are going to be in slow mo.
Yes.
You have to like record in slow mo on purpose.
Exactly.
So like you had to have a reason.
But okay, so actually, I think this is my theory. I think they didn't do it on purpose because the frame rate is so choppy when they do that. I think they did it after the fact.
Yeah, because there was what's that called? They do it's called like frame chopping or whatever, where you get the jumpy look,
yeah.
and that's done on purpose.
Yes.
They might have just did it just to break up the montage.
That's possible.
Was probably mostly what it is. But yeah, dude, I didn't notice that, but like it makes a ton of sense.
It really bothered me for some reason. But that's the nature of the nitpick, right? Is like it's
we're
so
picking
tiny
nits.
and you're just like, ew. Yeah.
Was that your
Not a
big
fan.
one?
That's really my main one. I mean, everything else is like
That and then variations of that.
variations of that. Okay, another nitpick. This is my I did actually just think about this, but
Okay.
yeah, that was my main one. When he teaches him the J shot, when he's a snowman and they go to this frozen grotto, and
Yeah.
Charlie's like no one knows about this place. I'm like, you found the most glorious thing. Like that looks amazing
It's an
in there.
abandoned tunnel through a mountain.
No
Someone
one,
knows it's here, Charlie. There's a
it's not,
reason it's
yeah.
abandoned.
You didn't like walk through a freaking wardrobe
Yeah, this isn't Narnia,
to
brother.
get here, man. Yeah. And then they do the J shot and they build a net out of twigs. Like, like what
I saw that. I was like, that would have taken
time?
an entire day.
Yeah. Like, who built that?
Yeah,
That's insane.
just jam 2 sticks in the ground. Just say that's the goal.
Yeah, it just could have been so much more. Like, it felt like this movie was like, okay, because a snowman came to life. I mean,
Anything.
the world's our oyster, buddy. Like, we
Exactly.
can do anything we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No rules anymore. So, yeah, which like is fine, but that was never established.
Yeah, there has to be parameters.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
can't just
parameters.
follow rules sometimes and not others.
Exactly. That it can't just be an open-ended magic. Like it just can't. And that never
Yeah,
drops. That never lands well, and it didn't
no.
land well this time. Like my nitpicks were all little too. Like all the sound effects during the snowball. And actually, all this I'm okay with like the whistling of mortars and stuff. But the helicopters, like you don't put a helicopter sound unless there's a fucking helicopter somewhere,
Yeah.
right? You can give like a little whimsical little sounds to make things sound like they're different, like different types of things flying through the air. But that's a
Sure.
complete, that's a full size object that only is the only thing that makes that sound, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So I was like,
Yep.
this is serious. We're having a big fight. What's this fight for? And it didn't, I don't know what it was establishing. And then at the end, I was just confused. I would
Yep.
say some of the acting's bad, but
Yeah.
we'll say it's the kid, like a lot of the kids. It's like they just only went with all of the extras. Like, I don't know if any of these kids were actually actors. Like
Yes.
all the kids that went to school with them. So that beginning scene was a little bit like, hey, say your line. Excited, please. And they're like, cool. We'll do that. Music. The music in this movie was wildly confusing. So they have the fake the fake bespoke song at the beginning, which is like a blues play on uh
Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman, and
Yeah.
then we had like these wildly popular songs in the mid 90s, like top 40. We
Yes.
Landslide by the Dixie Chicks.
Dude, love
Bro,
that song.
how much
Yeah.
money did they have to pay to use that? I bet you so much.
You're probably right. Yeah.
And it was like a bunch of alt rock, like radio songs. There was like 3 or 4 of them. I don't know the names of the other ones, but you've heard them. And
Yep.
I'm like, they spent so much of the budget on this, and these songs don't really even fit that well. Like
No.
they're fine,
No.
but it's a Christmas movie, and
Yeah.
there's no bells jingling the whole goddamn movie.
You're right. There's not a single bell.
It's just radio. They just
It's
like,
just
hey, if we put a bunch of
implied.
radio hits in,
Yeah. Yes.
we're good. All we have to do
You're
is say
right.
Christmas at some point, and everyone will know.
That probably would have made the movie feel better. I'm not even kidding. If you
Yeah.
put the bells in there, it would have felt better.
Yeah,
At least like a
jingle the
Hallmark
bells.
movie or something.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
The ADR where Jack was just bad. Well, not mixed well, and then the editing generally isn't either. So they might have just saved money there because the movie is expensive as hell. And then there is one slow mo shot that just drove me. I watched it 60 times. It's when Jack the Snowman finally gets to the hockey rink. The game's over.
Yeah.
By the way, the game was 16 minutes long. So,
Wow.
And he scores that winning goal, and the slow-mo yes from the snowman when he's like yes, and he can't smile, and there's no eyebrow movement, so he's like yeah, like it's really awkward and kind of cheesy and looks terrible. And I'm like, why did you guys leave that in? Like, because the coach is like score, like right, he's slow-mo, and then it flashes to Jack, and he's like just like its mouth's open, and I'm like, that is awful.
I gotta see this part again.
So it just looked really kitschy, really, really goofy. I was like, that's just not. Again, I don't know if they tried to chop it, make it slow mo to make it be a little more dramatic, but it just did not look good. So that was
That's
one. Then
amazing.
when I read all the stuff about how difficult it was to do this with the animatronic snowman, it makes sense. to make it look good.
Oh, I bet.
So it makes sense. But again, you guys made the bed, so I got to lay in it. You went
Exactly.
for it. Took a swing, didn't work out.
Not at all.
This was another little part that I thought would be fun.
Yeah, we got a long one today. By the way,
We
it's a
do.
lot.
What's
It's a long
next
one.
for the story? If you had to guess, this is great. So, if there was a post credits, like this person went on to do this, pick one character and then tell me what they went on to do. So,
That's pretty good, actually. Okay.
I will say,
All right.
I will pick. You can choose the same one if you want, but
Okay.
I'll pick Coach Sid.
Okay.
And he went on to see a therapist for the next 15 years off and on, and eventually um, got through his fear of snowmen.
That's
What's that?
I could easily see that being a post-credit scene of him laying down in a therapist chair. Well, two things with this actually. So really quick, one is that I thought there was a post-credit scene. I was convinced there was,
There has to be.
and I thought I feel like I can see in my mind's eye of them like panning to a snowman on the front lawn next year,
Yeah.
and Jack wakes up again as the snowman. Like his dad just visited some like once a year as a
Yeah.
snowman
That would be great.
for the rest of his life. Yeah,
I'll take that.
I thought that was gonna happen. That would even be better than whatever the frick happened at the end there because it was very weird. Uh, but along the lines of what you're saying, it's Mac MacArthur, friend of Jack Frost and Gabby Frost, friend zoned forever and never ever seemed to convince Gabby to date him, but just helps out with household chores.
Mac
Forever.
ends up secretly in love with Gabby, but is friend zoned for the rest of his life.
Friend zone forever.
He was
Can
destined
never
to only do
ever.
chores around the house
Yep. Exactly.
and work at the lumber store.
He's got the saddest, I think,
He
the
does.
whole arc of the whole thing. Like if he remembers how to play the piano again somehow.
Oh
but
yeah, he's like, yeah. When your dad died, I just stopped playing music because you guys were about to have your big break, but when he died, none of you guys could do it now.
yeah, he
Does that
lost
make
the
sense?
groove.
You lost the groove.
Lost the groove.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
And I think that one's going to make it into the show from this point on. I think that's just a really fun little exercise. So I mentioned earlier at the top of the show, we wanted to talk about why this movie didn't work, so we can do it really quick. It came out in 1998. We had Santa Claus. We had Jingle All the Way in 94 and 96, respectively, by Fox and Disney. So they were both very, very popular. Why did Jack Frost not work? Why? Give me a couple quick points. Why do you think this movie did not have the success those other two did?
Relied too heavily on Michael Keaton, who you hamstringed by making him do ADR for 3/4 of the movie. There's no plot, didn't exist, zero plot, and you didn't have bells. There's no bells in the movie.
There's no bells, so it doesn't
Zero
feel like
bells.
Christmas.
Yeah, doesn't feel like it feels like a winter movie,
Yes,
not a Christmas one.
and your star's only in it for half an hour.
Even the festival that Mac takes Charlie to because he's kind of trying to get with that Gabby clearly, is called Shiverfest. You could have called that Jingle Fest or like freaking the Christmas Spectacular, but you called it Shiverfest.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to avoid copyright, but they have Landslide
Yeah.
by the Dixie Chicks. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It was confusing. I thought I think you hit all those, nailed them, and I think the idea of the snowman killed it because they put him in the poster. He was kind of creepy. There ended up being a Jack Frost horror movie later, but everyone thinks this is it. Because it's scary. It's literally the animatronic snowman they put on the thing. So it's like it looks terrifying. And then you got to remember, Michael Keaton had a few years earlier done Beetlejuice. So they're like, oh, it's Michael Keaton, and he's a snowman. It's gonna be weird.
And it's a creepy snowman. Yes.
Yeah. So he had just done a movie that was not. It was a comedy horror, but like there were kids who were like messed up from Beetlejuice. So it makes sense that people are like, is this just another weird business? Like, is this Christmas Beetlejuice? And I bet you that's what happened. Which Beetlejuice is a great movie, but like they're like, that's not gonna work. I'm not taking my kids to that. And that's probably what he got crushed by. And it wasn't word of mouth, just people were like, that looks not fun, not exciting, not good. So I think that also had a big part of it. The marketing wasn't great. So
Yeah. Good point.
and it was a puppet, which is just
Yeah.
even scarier.
Haunting.
Like there's just a lot of like things like I don't trust that. If I saw that thing when I was a kid, I was like, I don't know, Dad. That doesn't look very fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Looks
So
despondent and also really murdery.
yeah, very murdery, very like a forced smile. But
Yeah.
again, it's all it could do. So
Apparently, I'm being told as well. I mean, I'm not told. I just literally just Googled this. Apparently, that horror movie of Jack Frost came out the year before this one.
there you go. They thought it was a sequel.
It was literally titled the exact same thing, Jack Frost, and it was a horror movie of a mutant killer snowman.
What are you doing, showrunners? What or like producers? Like, how
A
did you not
year
see that
later?
coming? There's no way that this was going to work if you named it the same thing.
It's it's The Shining, but it's not. It's about like a daughter who shines bright
Yes,
at the
she's
ball.
nice, and she's a shining star everywhere she goes.
It's
It's
called The
about her.
Shining, man. The same. Yeah, November of 1997.
Well, I think we found the problem.
It
That
took the whole podcast. We found the problem in the movie. That's why
that
it didn't
and
do well.
the final rating, I give it a 2 because that and the movie just sucked. So it
Yeah,
just isn't good. They really tried to
bad.
get Keaton to carry it. It was a big movie star, get a movie star for your Christmas movie type thing. Tim Allen had just proved that. Arnold
Yep.
Schwarzenegger is inching all the way. Like we got to get our
Yes.
guy, right?
100%.
And it didn't work. So I give it a 2. How you feeling about it
Fair.
now?
I back when I was a kid, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. Love this movie. Watched it. I probably watched it on repeat like 100 times. Watched it so much, loved it. Somehow didn't remember it when I was an adult. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10 because it was terrible, but it is still it's weird because it apparently became my entire personality. So without even realizing it, I was Michael Keaton in this movie, and that was actually kind of scary for me, but also kind of cool that I like subconsciously modeled my personality after this character. So
I love it.
it was weird. It was really like there was so many times in the beginning when he was like him that Tirza was like, "What is happening? Why did you have me watch this movie of you?" Is very weird. So I was like, I'll take
Is that
Michael
the first
Keaton."
time Tears I'd seen it?
Yes, you'd never seen it before.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, first
It's
time.
your favorite movie and you never watch it with your wife? Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, okay, all right. We have things to do. Okay.
Is this gonna be well yeah, that's true. Is this gonna be a movie you pass on to as you're like, you know what, let's skip this one guy.
You know, I wouldn't
Have you seen
mind
Elf?
watching
Like,
it with him.
yeah. He'll probably
Like
like it.
if it comes up and like yeah, like I'll show it to him. Like this is a movie that Daddy really liked, back in the day. But it's not like I'm not gonna be sad if he doesn't want to watch it. He's like, wasn't this the movie that
Yeah.
came out right after the horror movie? I'm like, yeah, it is. Like we don't have to watch it.
It's not gonna be like the first time you show him Lord of the Rings and watch the wonder on his face.
Oh, dude, Star Wars even.
cannot wait.
Oh,
Dude, all of
Stop.
that. Like,
can't wait.
and it's gonna be hard too, because you're gonna be like, I have to wait long enough to where he's gonna like not be like, what was that? Right?
Yeah.
He's got to understand enough to love it.
Yes. But this is stupid.
Timing that's gonna be hard.
Oh my gosh, I can't freaking wait.
I can't wait either.
This is a long one. I mean, for a bad movie, we really went in.
I think we like bad movies and talking about them.
I think you're right.
They're gonna make the rotations. Actually, I think that once we finally get our vote process out there, where everyone can vote on the movies, and where you guys start picking them, or our guests start picking them, because we're gonna bring some guests in season 4. Heck yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some random, I think, really interesting stuff. I hope we get some movies where none of us, you or I, haven't seen it. Like,
yeah.
it's gonna be hard, but when that happens,
Especially
and we get
for
it going
you.
blind,
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun. I've seen a lot of movies, but there's quite a few I haven't seen. That I always find these pockets, like these. Oh, I meant to see that. Oh, that leads me to like 7 more movies that I've been meaning to watch.
Goodness.
But it will be. I watched 100 so far. I'm 128 on the year, so
God.
which is 100 was my resolution. So I actually probably just achieved my first New Year's resolution ever.
Hey,
probably.
congratulations.
So, and I'm just gonna kick it up to 250 next year, and then not get it.
Yikes.
I don't know. We'll we'll probably do it again because I like this. But
Yeah, it's also our
yeah,
time.
that was Jack Frost. Thank you, Paul, for picking it.
Hey,
Honestly,
my pleasure. Loved
yeah,
it. Thank you.
it was a good time. I'm glad we could do this for you guys. Paul, would you like to take us out? Take us to the promised land? Take us to the finish line?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to. My little mountain goats, thank you for listening and watching the May Contain Action podcast. I was Paul. That was Trevor. We talk about movies. We freaking love them. We don't really know a whole lot about how they're made, but we love talking about them
We're learning.
regardless. And we're happy you joined us. Be sure to like and subscribe, click the notification bell, follow, 5 stars on Spotify and on Blue Sky, which actually we should probably make an account on Blue Sky.
We probably should make an
Probably
account
should.
on Blue Sky because everyone's quitting that other thing.
Yep.
Drive Rivian. All right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like I said, we will see you guys back again first week of December, and then we are off for the holidays until January when the new season starts with new guests and a new plan for the pod. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next time.